Hello again, YouTube! This is Dr.Kendo! I'm here with the Scribblenauts Unlimited Object Editor Commentary series, of course. The way that I choose requests for this series is basically done on a top comment/voting system. If you haven't known that for a while, then you haven't been paying attention to the last, 8 episodes or so. But there is a change a-coming. I've decided that I'm actually going to vary it up a little bit, and for the last week of every month, i.e. that is usually obviously the 4th week for every month, I will actually choose not the most popular request, but I will just choose one at random / one that I want to do just out of all the suggestions basically for that week. Basically, I wanted to do this change so that anybody who requests things that are kind of obscure or maybe not the most popular can still get their request done, or at least have a chance that it gets done. You know, if it does end up being the most popular request, who knows? It's just basically I'm gonna pick. So for the last week every month, I will be sure to say something, and this would actually be the last Sunday of every month, so I do want to specify that it will be Sunday. So what that means is the next one is coming up in this next week that's gonna happen after this episode. So Sunday, the 28th of September, that will be the first non-popular request. And by that, I don't mean that it's not popular. Gosh, I'm really foot in the mouth. I just mean that I'm not saying that it's not awesome or something. I'm just saying that it's gonna be a request done at random or of my choosing. Anyway, you should be able to tell what we're creating by now in today's episode. If not, I will go ahead and say it is Bowser Jr. Bowser Jr. was the most popular request from the last episode in this series. We started off with a boy as the source object and took Mora for the arms and for the legs. Mora is M-O-R-A. We've used that item a few times before, I would say, in this series. And I took the T-Rex leg just like I did on the Koopalings. If you take it's like the kind of near the bottom piece of the T-Rex's leg. That makes the snout or nose nasal area for Bowser Jr. here. We've of course got circles that are gonna be the eyes. Bowser Jr. just has 2 black circles for his eyes, and he's got these big eyebrows that make him look kind of angry, so we've actually just used comb over for that part, and of course paint it kind of this reddish orange hue. And Bowser Jr.'s famous bandana that goes over his whole stomach for the most part, and it has a mouth on it that has Bowser looking teeth on it, you know, fangs basically. I'm not sure that I'm gonna have enough stamps to do that. I'm actually positive pretty much that I won't have enough stamps to do that particular mouth, so we'll come back to that in one moment. But I'm also taking the neck piece of a crane. It's just the middle piece of the crane's neck, a crane obviously being the bird, not the machinery, and just take this capsule shape or line looking shape. It's from the geometry library, but if you're playing on Scribblenauts Unmasked, that is called a capsule, and just use hair for the top hair on Bowser Jr.'s head. So this is what I've done on the bandana. I just put a mouth, you know, I know it's not going to be the Bowser looking mouth or anything like that, the menacing looking mouth, but it will take the place of, having to have so many stamps to do that. And so of course a turtle shell is on Bowser Jr.'s back. Make sure that that is attached to the body of your creation, not the arm or something like that. And we've also got a fang for Bowser Jr.'s tail. I didn't want to forget that, but I know for a fact that we're not going to be able to get every single piece of Bowser Jr. that we want to get, so we're probably going to have to defer to just kind of having this. Yep, there it is. There was the notice that basically I'm out of stamp space after this one little horn. I will include 2 pieces for his horns on his head, I should say. Those are pulling from the scorpion, so if you just take a piece of the scorpion's tail, it's kind of one of the first pieces of the scorpion's tail. That's what I've used there for the horns on his head. But yes, because of stamp space, we won't be able to do Bowser Jr.'s wristbands. Everybody should know that he does have those metal or black wristbands around his wrists, so yes, we can't include those. I do apologize, but Scribblenauts Unlimited has its limits. Anyway, something big that I like to do in my creation series here is that I read off fun facts whenever we're doing all the scripting, and the fun facts and background information is of course for the characters that we are creating in the particular episode that they're being read off in. So let's go ahead with Bowser Jr.'s. Since his debut in Super Mario Sunshine, Bowser Jr., or Koopa Jr. in Japan, has been a recurring playable character and or main antagonist in many games within the Mario franchises. He's recently even been leaked or unofficially announced but confirmed for a famous game. I hate keeping secrets and non-spoilers. What's interesting about this, however, is that he uses his Shadow Mario doppelganger form, or attack, once again in this famous unsaid game that I've mentioned. Alright, moving on from that. Another interesting piece of fun factory is that his size has actually changed quite a bit from game to game that he's been in. He seemed to be at his smallest, or near his smallest, in his debut 2002 Mario Sunshine appearance, and possibly could be at his largest in Super Mario Galaxy, where some say he's even taller than Peach in that game. All in all, he ranked 6th on Game Daily's list of the top 10 Nintendo characters that deserve their own games, and he's also a fan favorite of one of my supporters and longtime subscribers, Mr. Wally Wynn, whom you've seen from some commentaries that I've done with him, but more recently, he's also one of 5 members of the Task Force 5, my other YouTube channel. So shout out to Wally Wynn, as we're creating your favorite video game character, or one of them, I should say. But yes, we're just finishing up some of the scripting, and of course I have him shooting out a fireball as his main projectile weapon, but then we also have him scripted to shoot a projectile after becoming brave whenever he loses or gains health. And yes, I always include the wait a set time and do the maximum, which is 180 frames, which is not all that long actually when you see it in the grand scheme of things. But then I have him basically shooting the projectile of a clear yellow sphere. This is to represent the supersonic waves that he can shoot out, for instance, in some games like Mario Strikers Charged, where, you know, his kind of special item, I guess, is that he does the supersonic yelling wave and it turns everybody tiny and hurts them and all that good stuff. Now we're starting off with the skateboard, and it's actually because I have used hoverboard before, which is what I would rather, you know, I desire actually to use hoverboard instead of this, but skateboard is actually where it's going to have to be at, because the hoverboard, whenever I was editing it, it was not working the way that I wanted to. So we're using a skateboard and just attaching the letter I right here, and we're going to color that I green, because we are now going to create the Koopa clown car, of course, that Bowser Jr. rides around in. So I actually am doing this sort of strategically, I hope at least. I've never seen how the skateboard will end up, but I do think that you can edit a skateboard and still be able to stand on top of it to ride it. And so I actually took the wheels of the skateboard and made those the eyes of the Koopa clown car. So hopefully that was a creative and hopefully successful venture that I've done for editing this Koopa clown car right here. And our Bowser Jr. was scripted actually in his behaviors to ride vehicles, so that is why I'm hoping that this will work out. I believe the skateboard is classified as a vehicle because I typed in skateboards first and then it had a filter that said vehicles on it, so that's why I'm pretty sure that this will work. If not, I mean, at least the boy source object that he is might actually default to it as well. So I hope you saw what I've just done right there. I took the green arm that comes from the 29-page library. I actually discussed this in some other commentaries, and I use this library of shapes all the time. I mean, it's a very useful tool in your object editor creations because it's just got lots of generic arms and legs and generic shapes overall, you know, that you can use in your creation. So then I've typed in rudder, and it gives you kind of this one end of a propeller right there, and we're going to use this for the little propeller that's at the bottom of the Koopa clown car. I wonder if I should turn this around like this. I think that will make it look a little bit more like a propeller. Unfortunately, it goes so far off of the skateboard's space to work in that you have to enlarge it and then make it smaller for it to actually go in the correct place, you know, and so it takes some adjustments. Hopefully you noticed how I did that in this. And then we just put a capsule there in the middle so that it didn't have that weird little dot that has space in it. So yes, here's the Koopa clown car. Looks like we've got that all set up. I hope that this works out. We're gonna need to make sure that the scripting is set up to hover whenever it's driven. It might actually need to be fly. I'm not sure. We just kind of need to experiment a little bit. And also I'm giving it its own projectile of the fireball. So, you know, of course, whoever uses it could shoot out a fireball is what that means. But I want it to basically mean that Bowser Jr. can attack from all sides while he's inside of his Koopa clown car. So you know what I like to do here. Once the creations are done, usually I test them out in a fight to be sure that any of the scripts I've set worked, because usually, for some reason, my scripts all involve fighting for the most part. You know, they're all video game characters. I mean, what do you expect? So we're fighting off this angry, strong gorilla, and it looked like he did shoot the clear yellow sphere, so I believe that that is working okay. And I set his damage only to 2, and he's actually doing a lot of damage even as that is. You know, I did it that way because, you know, it's like, I remember setting Goku and Vegeta and things to 10 or 15 or even 20 sometimes, and that's like huge damage in this game, you know, because if you consider a lot of the regular characters only have like 80 health or something like that, and especially humans in this game, they only have like 40 or something. You know, you could take that out really fast. So that's why I have set the damage to what seems like so low, but I think that it's good, you know, especially for Bowser Jr., although despite his size, he is quite a strong character, I would say. I was gonna have him fight this bunny right here, but it's not brave enough to fight. It's running away, so I need to add the adjective brave, and of course I made it flying so that he could kind of have this air battle with it in his Koopa clown car. Looks like that's working out, and I was a little bit worried about, you know, the eyes being the wheels of the skateboard, but it looks like that actually works right too, so it's pretty epic, because if you would have created the Koopa clown car as something else and then just like made it able to fly and be sat upon, your Bowser Jr. humanoid would actually sit on the very top of it instead of getting inside of it or having the illusion that he's inside of it. So this actually, I do think, worked out kind of the best way that I wanted to create it. Again, other people may have their own preferences and things like that, so I'm not gonna knock anybody, so please don't knock me. But, you know, you guys like to see my creations fight each other. This is actually going all the way back to, I believe, episode number 18 of this series. And here we are, like 60 episodes later or more, and we've got the flying poodle bomb dog, which really I should make explode when it dies, like creepers. And so our Bowser Jr. can fight it. I've got it attacking, and it doesn't really have any special attacks. That's probably something else that should be scripted with the bomb dog. It should like throw some bombs out or something. I don't know. It was a quick creation, as there were multiple creations in that episode. So it looks like this is actually going to take a long time. If you notice the attacks, you know, it's like I thought that just having him do 2 damage was gonna be great. I thought it was going to balance out everything really great, but looks like for my creations, they do have a bit more life than the normal humanoids and animals and whatnot and everything in Scribblenauts, so let's go ahead and change that. I guess we'll just go up to 3. That may not be a huge change, or maybe it'll show us some drastic, you know, whatever we want. So we're definitely going to have to speed this up in post-production, but I think that this is at least a little bit better. You know, put your Bowser Jr. where you want it to be. I don't know, do you want it to just do 2 damage, or do you want it to do like 10? It depends on how much health, of course, you give your creations as well, because, you know, that's the whole basis for why I did the damage the way I did it. But just to go on with more creations that I've done in the past that the Bowser Jr. can fight, let's go with our gas lead. This is one of my favorite creations that I've ever done. So it looks like he is now evenly matched up with Ghastly. It's going to be anybody's battle here. We should skip ahead a bit, because I think this is also going to take a little while to finish. And it looks like Bowser Jr. is victorious. Bowser Jr. coming out of the thick of the fight, winning, taking it all. The creation looks good. Everything is good. Life is good. So yes, throw in your requests, and it does not have to be the most popular one just for this week. And on September 28th, that Sunday, you will see a random creation chosen from everybody's suggestions. So I hope that you guys like this better. I hope that that's going to be something that can move a little bit closer towards pleasing everybody. I know that there's no way ever that I'll be able to please every last person, but hey, I've been there trying. So thank you to everyone, I really appreciate it. Your attention and your love and support, it's been really awesome. So I will catch you on the next vid, of course. And thanks for viewing.
Down the road of twists and turns, always anxious to see what's within. We can look ahead to the point of no return, to the rest of our lives and the spectacle we give. I've been down the road of twists and turns, always anxious to see what's within. We can look ahead to the point of